Hey, it's Eric Hulkern for the Everything is Marketing podcast as we broadcast live from ESTO 2022. On today's episode, Kathy Morin from Cadillac stops by to tell us what's going on up there. Our next guest as we continue to broadcast live from ESTO 2022, we head to Cadillac. Kathy, how are you?
Great. How are you guys doing?
We are amazing. What is going on with you? How's this? I mean, you and I spoke probably 2 months ago at this point, but how's summer been going in Cadillac?
It's been fantastic. So last year we had a record year, and actually this year so far, May was down just a little bit, but June was about the same as last year. So it's kind of curious to see how July and August and that keep playing out. But it's been very, very busy. So when we had talked before, we talked about the grant we had won through Michigan Retailers Association to support our Thursday night upbeat music series, as well as like the social district and the Thursday after hours market, and that has just blown up.
That's awesome.
And the weather has been perfect, luckily, every Thursday night. The social district, we've been supplying stickers and stuff like that for the store or the participating restaurants. We are weekly giving them well, you need another 1,000, you need another, I'm like, are you really going through this many, at Clam Lake? And yes, we are. I'm like, that's fantastic. So, I mean, it's exciting to see and hear positive momentum.
Now, for people who have maybe not been to Cadillac in a while or haven't been during the summer, explain to them what's going on right now and why people are obviously pouring in to check out the live music and the social district and all that stuff.
I mean, it's I don't know, there's like a, I'm not entirely sure what it is always. You just say, I'd love to be able to tell you these, I just got it back from a data session. I'd love to tell you all the data points. I think it's just, people are out, they're visiting friends. And it's just, and I think I've explained to you, maybe you in the past, it's like, I consider us like a blue jeans and beer kind of destination. It's going to be mellow. It's going to be laid back. You're going to have fun. It's not pretentious. But you can still be up north and you can kind of get out and you can do, whether it's golfing or whether it's paddle sports or, family reunion or a wedding or something like that. It's just been kind of a really great place for people to converge to do that.
And probably hitting the trails because you guys were awarded the Pure Michigan Trail Town of the Year.
Yes, we were. We were one of several. I think it was several this year, but yeah. So, I mean, we've been working on the trail infrastructure, working very closely with the DNR. So we actually have the White Pine Trail extension, like the trailhead, under construction, and hopefully by October. And so it'll be open. And so, I mean, people could have done this all along. You can take the 92 miles from Cadillac down to Rockford. But now, previously when you get to Cadillac, it just kind of like the trail stopped and it just it was very anticlimactic, and especially if you just rode your bike 92 miles. And so now it's actually going to be a trailhead stop, and it's kind of like you have arrived, and with some tourism information and things about the social district and other things that are going on. So that's pretty exciting.
That's awesome. Now, you just came from a session and you were kind of energized when you sat down. What has ESTO been like for you, and is this your first time?
Yes, this is my first time. And quite honestly, I mean, it's fantastic information, but being a small visitors bureau, I only had to drive, an hour and a half to get here. And so it might be the only one I get to, only because of the proximity and not having the extended travel. But it's been really cool. It's always nice to connect with peers across the country, just to kind of see and learn. And again, we're a small, we're a staff of 3, but I still have big aspirations as if we were a staff of 23. Kind of keep myself in check sometimes. The reality check, we're talking about budgets. I'm like, I don't have, your data information budget is my entire annual budget, from other places and stuff. But it's nice to kind of connect and hear what other people are doing. And then it's that validation of, we're trying different things and we're trying not always what we always did in the past, and it's a nice reinforcement when you're hearing keynotes talk about break the rule, go out, color us out of the lines and try new things and be disruptive. And so it's kind of like, well, cool, I've been doing that, so yay, so we're kind of on that path. So
well, how have you been breaking the rules? I'm curious.
Well, I mean, just looking at things differently. So And obviously also, our dear Laura from M Live. Hey Kathy, how are we doing about that? I'm like, we're doing something a little bit different for fall, but focusing more on the destination development. So instead of marketing, it was always traditional DMO, destination marketing organization. Well, now it's like, okay, I can market, I can spend all my money on advertising and marketing. But if somebody comes to Cadillac and it's not really a great place, like why did I come here? Building that infrastructure, pursuing the Pure Michigan Trail Town designation, and really working with the city and they the legislative municipal part of the social district, but we as the Visitors Bureau took it on and ran with promotion of the social district and all the marketing and branding. So doing things like that where it's just like, it kind of goes out of the lines of what things always had been, but just knowing that by working with the chamber and working with the city and working with some partners, like we're kind of out of that box of, oh, you just are the marketing people. It's like, well, no, we're the marketing people, but I just wrote, we wrote a grant for Michigan Retailers Association for marketing and promotion. We just wrote a grant for Michigan Municipal League for hopefully, for a pocket park improvement. Normally things that aren't totally a quote unquote, traditional Visitors Bureau thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So one of the things Paige and I have been noticing is the energy around here, and it seems like everybody you talk to is in this collaborative mood set. Are you feeling like you're all in it together and everybody's sharing information?
Yeah, and that's one of the best things I think about our industry. Anytime been to any Michigan industry types of things, whether it's the meeting planners or the visitors bureaus, yes, technically, there's always competition, but it's never felt like that. It's always been cooperative, and it's, at least from my perspective, I'm always more of that, like, inclusive as, exclusive. And like I said, I'm trying to be realistic with people. Like, I'm not, you want this, that's not me, but hey, let me have you go talk to, Jamie and Frankenmuth, or, what, that would be great for, so-and-so, Amanda up in Charlevoix, or those kinds of things. So it's, to me, it's more like building that network and really ultimately doing what's best for, the visitor or the guest or whatever the situation might be. But again, anyway, it's a fun group, obviously.
Right, yeah.
A lot of happy hours, a lot of conversations, a lot of just like talking and meeting people in the hallway and just making those connections that, you never know who you're going to meet, and you never know, what's going to happen. So just kind of being open to what's coming your way, and like what can you give and share for other people too.
A couple minutes ago, you kind of alluded at some grandiose plans, like kind of keeping your plans in check, and we'd like to go the other direction. And what are some of those things that you would love to see as your mark on Cadillac? Like what's something that you would love to say, I did this thing, or my team.
Yeah,
did, right?
So I would say, like, just the I did this makes me cringe. Whether it might have been me, but I'm not an I did this person.
Yeah.
It's always a we, even if it's an I, it's always a we. We're looking at bigger things, with the events, and one of the sessions earlier, talking about, having that person that's kind of that wrangler between the city and the chamber and the visitors bureau to help coordinate events and volunteers for the community. And then just different like destination development types of projects where it's like, having a staff of 3, and we literally, so this is the funniest thing, and I don't remember if we talked about this before earlier, or last few months ago, we literally have a box in our office, and it was a shoebox. It started out as a really ugly, like, I grabbed a shoebox out of like the closet. My husband had a pair of Adidas running shoes he bought, and I'm like, I need this box. Literally took a Sharpie and was like, ideas, like, stuff we want to do, but we can't do it right now because we've really run out of space on our whiteboards, because we do that too.
Yeah.
So all these ideas, they go in the box, and then it was supposed to be, I think we did that in June. I was like, oh, that's the July box. Now it's the August box. Now it's probably like, winter, But then, I got a nicer box, so it didn't look so tacky when people come into the office, and, we've got little slips of paper and that kind of thing. So, so we just keep adding. And now I'm here and I'm getting more ideas. And I'm like, there's another one for the box, and there's another one for the box. So it's just, I don't know. It's I don't know.
So what's one of the things that we like to do is like share tips that are working for teams, especially small teams that are nimble and making an impact like you guys are. So okay, the stuff goes in the box. How does it come out of it? Like how does it come out of the box?
I know. Well, we need to like keep crossing things off of like, okay, we want to do we have our Caddy Bear. So okay, we want to get Caddy Bear merchandise out. So we got these amazing mugs, and I'll have to hook up with you guys and give you these campfire ceramic mugs with our Caddy Bear, different designs, and got them out to several stores, and they want to sell it because they wanted merchandise. It's obviously helpful for us to have Cadillac stuff. So here, let me buy these wholesale. I'll sell them to you for $5. You sell them for $12. Win-win-win.
Yep.
So last week, check. We got the Caddy Bear mugs. So that's those kinds of things where it's just those like. You've got your traditional, okay, we're planning for summer, we're planning for fall, kind of looking ahead to winter. There's that traditional marketing things, but then there's the, okay, which of the downtown shops, like, okay, so you're selling t-shirts, you're selling mugs, you have magnets, you have postcards. Okay, let's, we just had an email thread going around this morning with a few of us. Let's keep track of who's doing what so that you guys can help promote each other and you're not buying duplicate merchandise. So again, it's like, what are we doing? But it's one of those things we're just helping facilitate that of let's, what's best for, Charming North to make sure we're working well with Horizon Books, with the Cozy Company, and kind of facilitating those things. So, like I said, I feel like it's a little out of the box of what our normal box should be.
Absolutely.
Is there one big idea in the box that you're really looking forward to?
Yes.
And do you know what box it's in?
Yeah. Great question.
We do. So, there's, and again, it goes back to this. I was at a conference earlier this year, and there was the gentleman from Corpus Christi, Texas, and they talked about, they have these beach cruisers. So they have these golf carts that are kind of like ambassadors, and they zip around, and they can do consumer surveys, but they can hand out information. So I've been thinking all along, and that totally reinforced it back in April. I'm like, we want a caddy wagon, like our Caddy Bear. We're gonna have a caddy wagon, and I'm like, this is what we're gonna do. We're focusing on ORV. We just got a really a significant grant from USDA Rural Development to focus on ORVs, so an ORV development. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna get a Jeep, and we're gonna deck this out, and it's gonna be the caddy wagon. And it had we saw actually in an event, we had the Jeep blessing with 1,000 Jeeps in BSIC. And so they had this one Jeep that had like an awning pull off the side. I'm like, oh my God. So there we go. We can take our caddy wagon, park it somewhere. Oops. Park it somewhere, and that's like our mobile visitor center. So instead of like, oh, everybody has to go to this office, between 8 and 5, Monday through Friday for information. No, the caddy wagon will be out down on Thursday nights at the market or downtown for whatever event is going on, or the Jeep blessing, or Manton Harvest Festival, or whatever other random thing is going on. So that's a big one.
But to be clear, the bear's not going to drive the Jeep, right?
Well,
or is the bear driving?
The bear has, for photo opportunities, the bear has driven a Jeep, like a Roxer. One of our staff members has a Roxer, and so the bear has gone home and driven the Roxer and driven a side by side and gone kayaking and all those things. But not street legal, no. But Caddy Bear will be like having fun hanging out, and so that's a bigger thing.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I don't know, like I said, we're getting tourism kiosks, again, going out to where people are, and we're getting them installed. I think we have, oh my goodness, probably like 10 so far. We're like a 3-sided panel with QR codes of, by the fall, spring, summer, fall, winter, QR code to a dynamic place on our website that has that information, or social district, those kinds of trail maps. So not being able to have those brochures out, but by having these 3-sided 30 by 60 panels out and around, then people can get that information too. So that, again, once those are up, check that box, and then maybe we'll be able to open the box and get something else out. So it's just kind of getting through, this big stuff. But, we're a new staff. I've been a staff of, 3, but 2 of the people just came out at the beginning of the year. So it's learning and growing as a staff, and as we're getting along, we're being able to check.
So how do you foster that level of innovation and idea making, right? Because a lot of people here are here because they've run out of ideas, right? They need somebody to kind of spark, and here you are with a collection of 77 shoeboxes.
I know.
With, but But that's a skill set to get a small team to be like, every day I've got a new idea I'm putting in the box, and we're going to figure out, how they go from the box to the whiteboard, from the whiteboard to the city, right? So what do you think has been the secret sauce to getting that innovation to kind of be infectious?
I'm such a geek. So like earlier, you would not believe, I'm upstairs, I'm taking pictures of all the things. I'm even the snack break where they had like the bags, and they make your own trail mix. I'm literally pictures. I'm like, and everywhere I go, I'm taking pictures and I'm getting ideas, and I'm just, how is this something we could do, or how, I don't know, just kind of looking like what do I like about this place. So my family, like 3 of us, did a road trip across the UP a month or 6 weeks ago. We were in Marquette for 2 nights, Houghton, Hancock for 2 days, and then Manistee. And so I'm in Marquette, and again, my husband's like, will you stop taking pictures? We're going to go to get something to eat. You join up when you can, But I'm taking pictures of like, okay, standing in downtown Marquette. Like, this is a cool place.
Yes.
What's making this a cool place? What is it about this? And, like, hey, Susan from Travel Marquette, that is a really cool sign. I'm going to take a picture of it. Or the merchandise or things like that in gift shops. And same thing, Houghton and Hancock and Calumet. Of like, what is it about this place? Because those are notable cities throughout the UP that are like, people are like, that's a cool place. So like, what is it about those places? I mean, what is it that I kind of feel and sense, and like, how is that something that would make sense for us, if it even does? Or do I just get a collection of really cool pictures and
All right, Kathy, we'll let you get back to the conference so you can get some more ideas to put in the box. But if people want to learn more about Cadillac, where do they go?
Our website's cadillacmichigan.com. So everything you need to know is there.
Have a great time.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.